Hello everyone! Thanks so much for being here with me today at Tarot Moods for this wonderful monthly predictions. Today we are going to doing your June 2026 predictions. I have 3 piles here for you to choose from, so I'll go ahead and show you the cards. Pile 1, you have Nobility. Ooh, still getting used to the camera. Nobility. This card is beautiful. Honestly, all of the cards we're using today are beautiful. Really happy with the spread. Pile 2, you have Gladiolus with Strength. Is that focusing right? Okay, cute. Gladiolus with Strength. Pile 3, you have the Marigold with Creativity. Again, just beautiful, stunning. I loved the idea of using these for our main energy for June. If you're new to tarot pick-a-card readings, simply what I'll have you do is take a second, meditate, take a couple breaths, whatever you do to center and ground yourself and really feel the energy within. After that, I want you to ask yourself which pile you're drawn to. So a lot of people have a lot of different ways. Some people will hear a number in their head. Some people will be drawn to a specific card here. Other people, I've seen people do tactically, is that the word, tactilely? That's not a word, but over their hands, over the video, over each card to see which one they feel the literal pull towards. Of course, if you get to your pile and you're like, this does not sound like me, you can always come back to this intro to take another chance at selection. I've also heard of people using a random number generator, so you could also do that. Just put 1, 2, and 3 into a random number generator. I will be throwing up on the screen the reading breakdown today. We will have a time period or a day of the month that could be significant. We will also have our flower cards for the overall energy, and we'll have an emotional card to represent a primary emotion that might follow us around this month. And then getting into the nitty-gritty, we'll look at the main themes this month. We'll look at an unexpected energy or a surprise this month. And then we'll also look at a goddess who is watching over you closely this month and her message to you. Basically, that'll act as general advice. Later on in the tarot, we will break it down into a career, a finance, and a love portion reading. The love portion will be split up into 3 different sections to cover all types of different relationships. So we'll have those in relationships, we'll have singles, and then we'll also have a talking stage for those of you who are maybe in a situationship. And those separate timestamps will also be down below beneath your pile timestamp. Then later, we will look at the progress you're making towards a goal this month. And finally, we'll look at something that will not happen this month. Ooh, it looks like the clouds are going away, and so is my sunshine brightness. So if that sounds like a reading you would like to join me for, then stick around. I'll leave you some time to choose your pile, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Hello, Pile 1. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading all about your June predictions. I'm so excited to be delivering these messages here for you today. If you watched the intro, you'll know exactly what we're getting into today. And if you haven't watched the intro, I highly suggest going back over there just to see what's happening. I will also post on the screen real quick just a bit of the reading breakdown. That way we're not completely lost going through here. I've already selected your oracle cards, so those are ready to go, and then later we'll do some tarot shuffling. I feel really good energy, and I don't know if it's you guys that just are feeling really good about this month, or you know some really good things are coming up this month. Even if you don't know the good things coming to you, I'm here to deliver and say that yes, good things are coming to you. However, you guys are just in a really good energy. It's good to sit here. It's good to read for you guys. Starting out with some overall energy, The words beauty and grace pop up multiple times in this reading. I do think this indicates that you're going to be feeling beautiful, or life around you is going to be feeling beautiful. Some of you guys may enjoy the summer weather wherever you're at. Also, just a note, the colors teal and like a salmon pink could be important. When I think of the word grace, I think of poise, I think of someone being proper, and it does kind of go along with the magnolia here. We have the word nobility. There is a commanding presence with you this month. However, it's very gentle. I think this month a lot of you are feeling a shift in the air to put yourself out there. And for those of you who are like, I'm kind of a homebody, I don't like speaking up, maybe some of you even have a little bit of stage fright, I'm seeing you find that courage inside of you to put yourself out there as far as being on display. Maybe you guys are posting things you normally wouldn't post. Maybe you guys are putting yourself out there on dating apps. If I think of this in relationships, really being authentic, speaking your truth, standing up for yourself as well. You could also be launching something that makes you nervous. Maybe you're presenting something that makes you nervous, asking for something you desire, and you're worried about how that may be received this month. But there's a gut instinct. Like, now is the time to ask for something. Now is the time to put it on display. And I think it's going to be something so compulsive of you. Like you can't resist but take this action. I think intuitively you know you have something of worth. Well, I want to say you are inherently worthy, but I think that confidence is going to be something unexpected this month. I think you're going to be feeling like, oh, I cooked. I know I cooked. And now you're gonna eat. You are feeding the hungry this month, y'all. If there is anything that you may need to present or actually physically verbalize to someone, that will be going rather smoothly. You're going to be finding the right words. And I feel like your voice isn't gonna shake. You're being very firm with your communication, but it's like this respectful firmness. I don't know, I'm getting the picture of Princess Diana. She could be significant. We love Princess Di. 10 toes down. love Miss Girl. But you know how Princess Diana just has this very firm, it's like a firm, cutting way of speaking and delivering her points, but it's always graceful. It's always gentle, and it's also persuasive. She commands a presence, and I think that's how you're going to be feeling this month, or what will be happening for you this month. A lot of people could be interested in what you have to say, and even unexpected people. Someone, and it could honestly be you. I hope it's not you, but there is this energy of feeling, whether it's you or another person, feeling like maybe you don't have what it takes, but you make it happen, and you make it happen flawlessly. I think you could also be taking something that is not really creative, but adding your own creative flair, which makes it a step above what anyone else has produced or what anyone at the time is producing. You're standing out, and you're standing out to the right people. I think this month you're going to be noticing a lot more people wanting to be involved in what you got going on, whether people wanting to collaborate or more people being interested in being friends, going out more, socializing. I think there's almost this energy where you're needing to say no to the amount of invitations you're getting, because you are so focused on either protecting your peace, staying grounded, or you're working so hard on something that you have an obligation to stay home and not go out. And I don't think this is going to be received in the wrong way. I think people are keen to give you grace this month. They believe in what you're developing. And even with any boundaries or any no's you have to deliver, it's like no one feels like there is a negative intention. No one is misunderstanding you because you are so sweet and gentle with how you communicate. You know who you're reminding me of? I work in news, and there is a meteorologist that I work with, and I don't know why I'm seeing her. The name Amber could be significant. I don't think Amber is watching this. If she is, hello, queen. But man, she is so respectful and gentle to everyone. She is so kind, but she's also a badass. Like, she kills everything she does, and I mean kill in like you crushed it type of way. And I think sometimes she gets a little anxious about coming off as a professional, and I'm like, girl, you are the most professional queen out there. You are killing the game. Maybe there's something to do with feeling a little out of place, or feeling like you're the only person that looks like you or acts like you in the field you work in. So you're worried about how you come off if you're able to fit in to this group. But it's like your work is so good, or whatever you're building is so good, that if someone were to pick you apart based on their own biases, or, you know, something as frivolous as, oh, they speak gently, they're too kind, like it's almost like people would be side-eyeing those people, kind of like this really dude sort of energy. The point is, you really don't have to worry about being too gentle or too kind in a space that might be very tough and rigid. I think it's exactly what is needed and what sets you apart from everyone. And that will be what aids in your success, because you are reaping loads of success this month. I think as far as a main theme, there's a lot about working under pressure, taking physical steps to get something done instead of just dreaming. We're stepping away from dreaming or planning energy and moving more into that action-oriented energy. If you felt stagnant or you felt like you're not making progress, there is going to be this push inside of you that says, I know I can do it. Now is the time. And I think barriers that have held you back, whether it be mental barriers, I do feel like there is this inner dialogue that maybe creeps in every now and then, and it's a little sneaky, because it's like one side of you is trying to keep you safe and saying, no, it's okay, you can stay low, you can protect yourself, blah, 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 blah. It's easier if you just lie low, if you don't do this. But that voice is only keeping you exactly where you are, and you're overpowering that voice to say, no, I know I'm capable of more. I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what I'm capable of, and I'm ready to take those steps. And it's interesting, we do have the Clear as a Bell card here, and that is number 27 in this specific deck. And something a little personal to me, 27 is my lucky number. So anytime I see 27, I immediately think luck is coming to whoever this is related to. Something you're not expecting is a lucky break happening so soon. This could also be finding information or receiving information that makes things easier for you or takes stress off of your plate. It helps you pivot. And I also think I'm thinking of that saying, that says, well, I don't know the full saying, but it's something like you create your own luck. Luck is like 90% you and 10% the universe. And I think because your vision this month is so clear, it's so unshakable, you're able to push yourself past what you thought was possible and create a lucky opportunity for yourself. And, because we have an important date being the 30th, which is the very last day of the month of June, I feel like most of the month you're taking these actions, you're making that luck for yourself, and then the luck finally comes towards the end of the month. Something breaks open, a path clears, and you're seeing the way forward. You're seeing what you've been building start to take root and start to come up from the ground. Some general advice I want to say for this month from your spirit guides, we have Nematona with Sacred Space. She is the goddess watching over you this month. It's very, very important among the chaos that may be happening this month. And I want to say, you make the chaos look like art. You are definitely one of those people where I think it would be easy for people to project onto you and say, oh, well, you have it easy, or oh, everything comes easy to you, or whatever. It's because you make things look easy, but it's actually really hard. It's important for you to have you time among all the busyness happening. If you are close with spirit or God or something like that, I think creating time to meditate or pray or to connect with this being would be helpful. Also, I'm pretty sure she talks about Archangel Michael. Where is that guidebook? Yes, I'll just read this last little bit. Clear the energy in your home with sage, prayer, toning, or invoking Archangel Michael. So he could be helpful on your path. Feel free to call on him when things get difficult, when you feel like you don't know how much you're able to handle. If you're feeling a little run down, I think he might be helpful at coming in and giving you a little boost or making things slightly easier for you. There's a ritual around self-care, whether it be a nighttime routine or a morning routine, that is solely meant for coming back to yourself, not worrying about everything you have to do, not worrying about what other people need from you. Time solely for you to recharge, to rest, to regroup, and to remember you're still a human, you're not a machine. I do think Spirit is heavily protecting you this month. They are on your side and they want to help, but I will say they're not just going to come in and do all this work for you unless you ask for it. They're like, you got to open the door for us. So praying or just simply saying, Spirit, I need help. I need encouragement. I need a weight lifted off of my shoulders. After saying that, I think you'll see an improvement. And you can do that as many times as you need. There is no limit for Spirit. There is no request that is too much. Don't feel bad about needing help. And that goes from the spiritual world or the physical world. I think you have a lot of people and spirits who are willing to help at the drop of a hat. You just have to be courageous enough to ask. Okay, so that's the overall energy. I do want to get into the tarot portion of your reading. For you guys, we are using the Gentle Heart Tarot today, which I feel like I haven't used this deck in a while, but because of all the pinks, the beautiful pinks I see, specifically in this Magnolia card, I just felt like the Gentle Heart Tarot would be perfect for this. Also, I just want to clarify, because I don't know if I specifically went over this, the last day of the month could be very, very significant. I know I talked a little bit about it, but I drew that card specifically so you could kind of have a general idea of an important day. this month, so definitely look out for something happening at the end of the month, very last day. What's happening in pile one's career this month? Just one card, please, Spirit. What is happening in pile one's career? What is happening in pile one's finances this month? What is happening in pile one's finances? And then we're going to split the love section into 3 parts. What's happening for those in a romantic relationship during the month of June? What is happening for singles during the month of June? And what is happening for those in a situationship or talking stage, freshly dating? Okay, I will read this and then I'll pull our last 2 cards later. For your career, we've got the Tower, which don't freak out. This isn't a freak out message. I do not think you are at risk of losing a job. I see this more as a shakeup happening, and I do feel like it's divinely led. There is something inherently spiritual about the Tower card, and I do think this kind of goes along if we think of the Tower as getting rid of anything that can't come forward with you in the future, anything that's not serving you, anything that's hindering you. That does make sense with the overall energy we were reading. Pushing past limitations, silencing that voice inside that tells you to play things safe, and taking those steps deep down that you know are going to push you to the next level. I do think you are overcoming fears this month. There could be a triggering event like a close call or something that instills a little bit of fear for you this month in your career. But you realize you've built a steady enough foundation that you're able to make things last. This shakeup won't take from you. It'll actually prove to you how wise you've been at planning career moves, building up your professional portfolio. This could also be unexpected good news that completely transforms your life. This could be getting the job offer of your dreams, and then it's like, holy cow, I have 1 month to move 20,000 miles away and to pack up my whole house and to buy a car and all of these things. This could also be shocking yourself with how well things are turning out for you, like your hard work, seeing the rewards of your hard work very quickly, unexpectedly. I'm also hearing like pushing past the jumping ship mark. You're pushing past that limit where most people would give up or break, and that's why you're seeing the rewards. You didn't give up, you did push through, which is very like the energy for this year. I keep seeing these messages of what would happen if you didn't give up. What would happen if you pushed through? And now I'm just seeing like breaking imagery, and instead of interpreting that as something shattering, it's like breaking through limitations, breaking through a glass ceiling, breaking through expectations, breaking the mold even, thinking outside of the box. Some very exciting stuff is going to be happening in your career this month. I'm very excited for that. And that does kind of play in to your finances. We have the Page of Diamonds or the Page of Pentacles. This card literally looks like a mother looking down at her child or her creation, and on this card she is looking at the diamond in her hands. And I don't know, I'm just getting this birthing imagery, which doesn't mean you're literally giving birth. You could, if you are pregnant and you know I'm having a baby in June, this could be relevant. And maybe this plays into the building your own luck, because I do feel like maybe an additional stream of income is coming to you. You could be getting a raise. It feels something you built for yourself. I feel this protective energy from you with your finances this month, not because anything is happening this month to stress you about your finances. I think you will be taken care of financially this month. You're going to be feeling very comfortable. I also think of nest egg, like you could be building up a really good savings account this month. But I think your mindset is shifting from where can I get money to what can money do for me, and prioritizing how you can protect that money and what steps need to be taken in order to ensure that the wealth continues to grow, right? Because the page is the youngest of the court cards. It's still learning, it's still dabbling, but it's on its way to becoming a king or a queen. The priority here is, instead of spending money, it's knowing that those resources are going to be important and vital for the future that you're building, and delegating it to the things that matter the most, that will give you a return on your investment. Being very smart with money, but also being proud of yourself. I feel like you're going to be proud of what you're doing with your finances, proud of what you've built and what you are building, and seeing a small trend upward. I don't think it's going to be a crazy lump sum of money, but I do think you're seeing results driven by the work you put in. Moving on to love, I will have in the description the different timestamps for your type of love connection that you're reading about. So if you want, you can take a second, go to the description and find which one is for you. We're going to start out with those in relationships. We have the 5 of Cups reversed. If you've had rocky terms with your partner, I think there's going to be an emotional breakthrough where both of you are like, okay, what do we need to do to get back what we have together? Because it's not worth throwing this away. There's not a desire here to move on. There's not a desire to break up here. Both of you are coming together and saying, how can we make this work? What needs to change? And I think there's going to be a newfound gratitude for each other. Not that there wasn't gratitude for each other in the first place, but I do feel like working through this tough time and being there for each other emotionally and vulnerably listening and receiving what each other has to say and respectfully communicating boundaries or desires is going to be received very well, and it's going to cause both of you to reflect on how grateful you are to have each other. For some of you, there could be a grieving process that both of you have been going through in the relationship, whether you've lost someone or something together. If you have been grieving recently, or times have been just emotionally really hard and it's not about the actual relationship you two have together, I think there is a strength found in each other this month to come out of your shells more, to choose together to find meaning and a purpose outside of this loss, and even to get out a little bit of a depression period together, helping each other find a reason to keep going and finding a way to move on from this chapter of grief in a healthy way. For those of you who are single, we have the 8 of Swords reversed. And this to me just screams like getting out of your head, being done victimizing yourself. Because I think it's easy. The dating pool is crazy. If I didn't find my current partner, I would have gotten off the dating apps like immediately. I found my partner, I think within less than a week of being on the dating apps, so I got very lucky. But I think it's easy these days to be like, oh, I'm never gonna find anyone. Oh, everyone is trash. Oh, everyone I meet is horrible or whatever. And the longer we tell ourselves that narrative, the easier it is to avoid taking the steps necessary to meet someone. And I think you're over it. I think you're like, listen, throwing a pity party for myself isn't helping. Not that I think you're throwing a pity party. I'm just spewing words. Sorry, that came out wrong. I think a better way to look at it is, it's not helpful for me to have such a negative mindset about dating anymore. What would happen if I release expectations and I just do it for fun and I just see what happens? And if I find love, great. If I don't, it's fine. You're finding the confidence to throw your hands up in the air and to say, universe, give me what you got. Let's see what's out there. I also think for any of you who have had blocks around intimacy, feeling awkward on dates, feeling like you can't be yourself with the people you're meeting, you're finding like a trick, or you're finding the root of that belief inside of yourself, or the root of that issue, and you're able to transform out of that energy, which makes you a lot more appealing and a lot more natural and comfortable to be around, because you're not so anxious, you're not so in your head, you're not trying to say the exact perfect words that need to be said. You're more comfortable being yourself, which then acts as a light and draws people more to you, because they're like, hey, that person loves themselves, that person likes themselves, I gotta see what they've got going on. You're putting yourself out there again, but this time without expectations, which is super exciting. For those of you in a talking stage or in a situationship, whatever it be, we have death reversed. And my neighbor, I don't know if I caught it on recording, my neighbor, I just heard them drop something, and right as that happened, I heard, and the other shoe drops. So, what does that mean? I think that means you might be finding out information, or maybe it could be like, hold on, let me think. I think clarity is coming to you, especially if you've been in this prolonged state of what are we, where are we going, what's happening, like, is this gonna happen, is it not? Clarity is coming to you this month, and I think you already know deep down what this connection is and what it's meant to be, but there's been a little bit of resistance, looking for others to confirm what you feel deep down. This could also be fears getting in the way of progress in this connection, whether it be your own fears or the other person's fears. Clarity will come to you, but it's up to you whether you want to take action on it or not. I don't see someone dropping their ways or having a come to Jesus moment about this connection. Like, I don't see a radical, like, we are lovers now energy, if that's what you were hoping for, which I'm sorry to deliver that message. At most, I could see a conversation where the other person is like, this is what I'm willing to do right now, and this is what I can allow into my life, this is what I think this connection can be, and then it's up to you to decide whether that is something you're comfortable with or something you would like to move on from. Okay, so now we're gonna pull our last two cards. Our first question our first question is, what progress are you making towards a goal? What progress? So maybe think of a goal right now that you have. Spirit, what progress? we've got the Page of Cups reversed, and to clarify it, we have the Three of Cups reversed. I love to see this because this is really you saying, I understand that I can help all of these people, or all of these people want something from me, but it's time that I give back to myself. It's time that I finally go after what I want. You're remembering that you are also a person with dreams and desires, and your energy can only be spread so thin. And the progress you're making is in this self-growth area where you're prioritizing yourself again. This doesn't mean you're abandoning the people who need you or abandoning your responsibilities, but it does mean you're delegating what you can and can't put your energy towards anymore. And even in the face of people who might be disappointed or hurt that you're having to prioritize them less, you're finding courage inside to say, I can't. And sometimes no is the answer, and you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to put on these charades to make it more palatable to others. No is a complete sentence, and you don't have to take on other people's disappointment as your own. They can feel disappointed. That doesn't mean you're inherently disappointing them, because that would mean you owe them something. And I think in this specific scenario, and you'll know what I'm talking about, like, you don't really owe these people your time, your energy, whatever they need from you. It's not your shame to carry, and anyone who tries to put that shame on you, I think you're finding the power to say, no, that's not me, and you're reprioritizing your life and the connections you let in and how they support you. Okay, and our last question I want to ask about is, what will pile one not have to worry about this month? What will pile one not have to worry about this month? We got more than just one card. We got three. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Diamonds reversed. We've got the King of Diamonds or the King of Pentacles reversed. And then we've got the Seven of Pentacles or the Seven of Diamonds reversed. Lots of reversals here. What the heck? If there is a fear that someone is going to block a blessing from you, or someone with more power, more experience, more respect, this person that you might be intimidated by or be scared of, even if it's an imaginary scenario, that will not happen. This anxiety about, what if I put in all of this work and then I fall flat on my face, nothing comes of it. That will not happen. That is absolute worst case scenario, and it's not going to happen. Someone is not going to magically block you from getting everything you desire. Someone is not going to take away what you have built for yourself. And if someone tries, they've got a rude awakening coming for them. Okay, pile one. That is all I have for you here today at Tarot Moods. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, I would love it if you leave me a like, if you left a comment. That's a great way to support me, to support the community here at Tarot Moods, and it also helps spread this video to more people who need to see it. Hello, that would be amazing. But of course, that's optional. You don't have to. I also have links to personal readings, information about personal readings in the description. There's also all of my social media platforms in the description where I post daily content. I also invite you to join me on Patreon. On Patreon, I post 2 videos a month, and this is a new addition to this channel. And if you're feeling generous and would like to directly support this channel as far as buying more decks, purchasing equipment to film readings, there is also an option to tip me through Venmo. all of that will go towards actual physical resources to continue delivering tarot to all of you. But with all that being said, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful month of June. Bye, y'all. Mwah. Hello, Pile 2. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading all about what the heck is happening in June. We are doing a June predictions today. I'm very happy you decided to join me. If you didn't watch the intro, I highly recommend watching the intro just for a little bit about today's spread and what we are going to be looking at. However, I will also be popping a little segment on the screen just so you can see a general overview. I feel this feeling of, I knew this would happen. I knew these were the cards I was dealt, but it's gonna be okay. And I do wanna say, June is not going to be a horrible month. I think it's going to be incredibly transformative, not only emotionally, but also in the material sense, where you're doing a lot of inner work that then results in tangible changes to your reality. I will say this is one of those months where things will not be the same after. And there are plenty of new beginnings happening very soon in the near future. But it does feel like disappointment is lingering. I think something isn't going the way you wanted it to. And this month is all about taking back your power when things or life is unclear. We have the uncertainty card here. I do think there's a good chunk of this month where you're kind of like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I'm meant to be going. I don't know what I'm doing, what I'm here for. And this energy does not mean you are making the wrong decisions. I think this energy is crucial for the change that is necessary to build the life that you want. And this time, whatever you're going through, it's not the universe punishing you. It's not the universe saying, oh, don't do that, or saying you're not good enough. It's simply reworking life for you to work better for you. But sometimes before all of our new blessings and wonderful things can come into our life, there is a period where we're kind of walking through tar, and it's difficult, and it feels a little hopeless, it feels a little scary, and it feels out of our control, because it is out of our control. There's a risk here in what happens if I just let it go. What happens if I say enough is enough and I can't keep doing this anymore? I can't keep living life the way I was. Finding that strength inside to say, this isn't for me. And maybe that means starting from the ground up. There's a choice you're being presented with. And the choice is, how do you want this month to go? Do you want to stay down? Do you want to choose to be upset? Choose to ruminate over these things that didn't go our way? Or do you choose to see that disappointment, to feel that disappointment, feel the anxiety and the uncertainty, and say, I know I have a fighting chance. I know something is bound to work out. I can't give up. This month, you're not giving up on yourself. This month, you're saying, I'm not going to live like this anymore. And I'm going to make the change, which is so empowering. And you do have spiritual help here. I do feel like there is something meant to happen on your timeline to push you to this point. We have past life energy here, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But we also have the time period, the number 11. So the 11th of the month could be important, but these keywords are karma, spiritual awakening, new beginnings, new opportunities, all of that. But essentially what I'm focusing on here, there's something spiritual happening this month. It was meant to happen. This is not a failure. This is meant to push you to something greater. You are actively making the choice this month to continue taking steps when your feet are tired. To rely on your senses that are saying you can make it through. I don't think you're solely relying on just yourself. Important relationships here are going to help keep you grounded, keep you stable, and supporting you throughout this moment, throughout this time period. You're choosing to face fears this month. Sorry, I had to abruptly stop my recording because my cat, I don't know, it sounded like she was banging something. So I went to the kitchen and she was just rubbing her nose on my dirty dishes, which is like, great, thank you. Thank you for reminding me that I am a type B person and I need to do my dishes. Thank you, miso. And yes, it's miso like this soup. We love miso soup in this house. I kind of lost my train of thought. I hope I finished my thought. If I didn't, womp womp. I do want to say, when I was taking the notes for this pile, I kept hearing this musical theater song from Waitress. And it is, oh my gosh, what is the name of that song? I think it's called She Used to Be Mine, or just Used to Be Mine. And I just got chills. So yeah, I think this is significant to the reading. There is a part in that song. She's on this super high emotional roller coaster, just trying to find that reason, that will inside her to keep going. And she says, the lyric, I finally had to look it up. I was trying to sing it in my head so I could remember the lyrics, but it's like 1 a.m. here. It's actually 1:02 a.m. Mark it on your calendars, babes. The lyric is, till it finally reminds her to fight just a little, to bring back the fire in her eyes that's been gone but used to be mine. And I got chills again. You're giving yourself a fighting chance. You're fighting for that fire again. You're saying, I don't have what I need right now, but I'm gonna find it. I can find it inside. I can find the will to keep going. You're saying, these aren't my circumstances. These are not gonna be what defeats me. I'm gonna find a way, which is so beautiful. The main theme this month is controlling what you can and leaving the rest up to the universe or fate, whatever you believe in. Trusting that what's happening is happening truly for the good. Choosing to find happiness in the things around you, no matter what your circumstances are. Because that's really when change, I think, starts to happen. Because we can easily sit here all day and we can be like, ugh, yeah, it would be nice to have this, or to have a new car, to have a new house, or to have the job of my dreams. But that is just a goalpost. And when you think happiness comes from a specific manifestation or a specific material item, that is subject to continue moving and changing and shifting. But when you can create happiness inside by yourself without the need for external validation or external objects, that is when you truly become unstoppable. Because then it doesn't matter what happens outside of you. Because you have the power to control how you perceive your reality. And when you find a way to control that happiness switch, that happiness meter inside of you, and you're the one who brings yourself joy, nothing can ever take that joy. There's a purposeful act of living in the moment, taking things day by day, minute by minute, stopping to smell the roses and not punishing yourself or feeling anxiety about taking things slower or easier, taking as much rest as you need, and not acting on things that seem inauthentic to you. There are going to be relationships in your life, which we will look at a little bit later, that are actively supporting you and actively helping you see the bigger picture this month. And you're going to be feeling a lot of immense gratitude for even the smallest of things that people provide to you, whether it just be the way someone smiles or someone's presence, knowing that someone's just one call away, knowing that at the drop of a hat, anyone is there to help you. That is incredibly empowering. And it's going to be good to have those crutches to rely on when times get a little hard or when things feel overwhelming. Being able to talk things through with trusted people. I think something you're not expecting amidst the chaos is how eerily calm you feel inside. I think it's going to be easy for you to release your attachment to the past or whatever happens here, and that's going to feel weird as well. And you know, I started this reading saying I knew this was going to happen. And I think why it is so easy is because I think you saw this happening before it even happened, so you were able to kind of mentally or spiritually prepare, and you're not expecting to feel so okay with how things are going. Maybe you're not okay with what happened, but you're like, okay, this is it, so now what? And that's maybe an unexpected feeling or reaction that you maybe haven't had before. I also think this comes to play when we were talking about blessings and new beginnings coming to you after this brief period of uncertainty. Because you're taking that time to rest, because you're calm, you're not panicking, you're not reaching for any opportunity to fill the gap that might happen here, that is when the right people, the right opportunity finds you. And I underscored finds you in my notes because I don't think you're going to be looking for this or reaching for this. I think it really is coming and it's going to smack you right in the face and you're like, oh, like that was easy, like and maybe you might even be laughing at yourself where you're like, I was worried about this, but now like it all makes sense. And that is also unexpected. Things are just going to be making sense when this opportunity finds you. And you're going to be really grateful for how you reacted to the circumstances. You're going to be really grateful that you didn't ruminate, that you didn't overthink. The advice given here is maybe working with a therapist to release wounds from childhood around control. Not that you're a controlling person per se, but there could have been a tumultuous childhood and those wounds could be getting a little triggered this month. And a therapist could help you work through some feelings about that uncertainty or about that need and desire to control. There's also this energy, because we have Isis with past life, and I pull a goddess card for all of these piles, so this is the goddess watching over you this month. It's Isis. This card specifically talks about past life karma, and if we don't want to think of it as an actual like reincarnation past life. We can think of it as childhood, right? Or a different era of your life. Are you noticing certain patterns or cycles that have either been passed down to you or that have continued since childhood? Are you taking action or engaging in behaviors that keep you in a cycle of negativity or keep you in a self-sabotaging cycle? Why is that happening? What are you continuing? There's also this, you've done this before, you can do it again energy. You're more capable this time. You're more mature this time. The cycle can be broken. So yes, definitely working with professional around trauma, stuff like that. With that being said, we are going to move on to the more in-depth portion where we look at private sectors in your life through tarot to see what else might be happening to you. My intention is to pull one card for each of these questions. However, there have been some that are a little sneaky and Spirit's like, take all of these cards. So we shall see what happens. I'm using the Jupiter Power Tarot today. All the decks I'm using and links will be listed down below in the description, as always. Okay, I'm going to break the tarot portion into two sections. We're going to do a career, a love, and a finance, and then later we will do our last two questions. However, for the love portion, we are splitting it up into those in a relationship, those who are single, and those in like a talking stage or situationship. Those direct links to those specific like love portions will also be listed in the description, though there will be timestamps that you can click on for your specific portion if you don't want to sit through all of it. Some people like to sit through all of it, you know? Okay. Spirit, what is happening in pile 2's career? That came out quick. We have the King of Wands reversed. What is happening for those, or what about pile 2's finances the month of June? What is happening in pile 2's finances? We have the Five of Swords reversed. For those in a relationship, Spirit, we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. For singles in the month of June, we have the Two of Swords. And for those in a talking stage, we have the Knight of Cups. Wonderful. Okay. We will answer the last two questions later. In your career, I feel like you are realizing where you've let other people take the lead or to dictate what path you go down. Because I feel like this might be a situation where you realize you've been living life for the expectations of others. This could be a paternal figure. This could even be like someone you respected advised you against following a specific path or taking a specific action or direction in your career, and you've realized that now you've strayed so far that you are looking back with a little bit of regret. And this isn't something that I think you're going to stay in long term. I think it's more of this realization of I need to stop living life for other people. Sometimes my actions aren't going to make sense to other people. Sometimes what I want to do doesn't make sense to those that I respect. Sometimes I have to be the one to prove that this is a viable option. This is seeing where you've given your power away and how you can take that power back. Because I want to reiterate, I know I talked about like looking back with a little bit of regret. That doesn't mean you strayed too far from the plot or that it's too late to follow what you want. I actually think now would be a great time for you to start to pivot and to push past limiting beliefs in order to open yourself up to new opportunities. There could also be a little bit of a controlling energy here, like someone wanting to give unwarranted career advice here, or someone strongly advising against a decision. But at the end of the day, you have to live life in a way that makes sense to you and live for yourself. And how are you going to find that confidence within if you don't say no to someone, right? If someone has rattled your confidence about your career, you're no longer holding on to that narrative. You're finding a way to release that shame. And I think you're proving someone wrong in your career. For your finances, 5 of Swords reverse. I think you might be settling something this month, whether it be like an actual court case with someone financially. That's of course not for all of you. But it's like, if it is this court case for some of you, there's kind of like this win some, you lose some energy. I don't think you're getting exactly what you hoped for out of this situation. I think it's more like it's not a net positive, it's not a net negative. You're kind of settling with the same money you put in. I think you're more in this energy of, I just want this to be done. I don't care anymore. I just, it doesn't matter to me anymore. This was a little pointless. I do see it concluding though. So if you're worried or you're waiting on a case to settle, it will be happening in June. I also think it's not a good time for you to take a risk financially. Some of you might be losing money now or using extra resources now to make up for a lack of resources. You might be using more of your savings than you planned or thought you wanted to or thought you would. Or you're making sacrifices for the sake of your finances. You're saying no to purchasing something you really want in order to protect yourself later. Or realizing that pursuing something or taking action on something is not worth the material resources it would take to put in. At least for right now, putting a pause on something. For those in a relationship, I don't think this month you're going to have a lot to give. I think this month is more about receiving. If you're typically someone who's very nurturing, very giving, very, what can I do for others? How can I make other people's lives easier? Especially in your close relationship, if you do tend to take on that nurturing, providing energy, this month it's not as feasible. You're being guided to not develop shame around this. I think your partner is going to completely understand. I think your partner is so willing to go above and beyond for you this month. And your partner would hate to know that there is something that they could be doing to help ease the burdens on your plate, but you feel scared to ask. Your partner really wants to do anything they can to make things easier for you. No ask is too grand. No request is too much. They know that this month is kind of like abnormal for you, and they don't mind picking up slack or providing more in your time of need. It's really this in sickness and in health, and I think this month you're kind of in that in sickness, quote unquote, not saying that you're going to develop a sickness, but when you're down and out, that's where the partner wants to step up and prove, I'm in this with you, I'm in this through thick and thin. Your partner could even be the one that's asking you to slow things down a little bit for the sake of you. Your partner could be noticing, hey, you've stretched yourself a little too thin. Hey, I think you're going a million miles an hour, and I think it's important for you to slow down. I see your partner maybe drawing bubble baths for you, maybe surprising you with home-cooked meals, surprising you with things that you typically handle because they see the struggle. And again, it's not anything you need to be ashamed of. It's not anything that you need to feel like you owe them in the future. That is not at all what they are envisioning or even thinking about. That's the farthest thing from how they are perceiving the situation. For those of you single, for my single Pringles, you could feel like you're not in the right headspace to be dating, or you're torn. Maybe you see a positive future with someone, but you don't feel like you have enough to give in this moment. You don't feel like you have enough to begin a new relationship. And I think you will be making a decision on how you want to move forward. I think you are going to feel comfortable putting it out there and saying, hey, I really like you, but X, Y, and Z, or, whatever it is. I don't want to put thoughts into your head or tell you what to do. I think you might even be waiting for more information or waiting for more time spent together to happen before you make a final decision about someone you're dating. You're weighing the pros and cons. You could even be seeing multiple people and waiting to see who makes it more long-term. You're sitting pretty as far as your relationships go. It's not like you're actively desiring something specific or someone specific. I think you're in a very watchful, patient energy. And I think that's very mature, because I think with so much going on your plate this month and so much inner healing that is happening and etc., I think you are making a wise decision on taking your time. For those of you in a situationship, I do think you are going to be pleasantly surprised. There could be positive forward movement in this relationship. Getting some sort of offer, maybe spending more time together with someone is opening up more with you vulnerably, or you're being more vulnerable with this person and it's being received well. Someone is ready to take more concentrated action with you. Someone's ready to let you in their life more, or you're ready to let someone in. There's a lot more trust together. This could even be going from the what are we to, okay, we know exactly what our dynamic is, which I love to see. I want to say I think this person cares about you deeply, and I'm getting the message like, I'm sorry I made you wait. So that could be significant. The waiting is over in this situation. Okay, we are going to move on to the final questions. So, Spirit, what progress is pile 2 making towards a goal they have? So think of a goal. What progress is pile 2 making towards a goal they have? What progress? Okay, we have the 4 of Swords reversed, and then what is something that pile 2 will not have to worry about this month? What is something? Okay. And we have the Queen of Wands reversed. You are finding ways to excite your routine, even though things are a little stagnant. I feel like you're working really well with the limited time, resources, or money you have. And it's important for you to know that even the littlest of energy exchanges, even the littlest of things that you find joy in, or tiny steps forward, tiny changes that you make, that equates to a big change in the future. It all adds up. Tiny steps are mighty steps, is what I'm hearing. With the Queen of Wands reversed, something that will not be happening to you this month, you are not losing who you are at your core. You are still going to be confident in yourself, in your abilities. You are still going to be feeling beautiful. You are still going to be taking care of yourself. There's also this message of you're not gonna irrationally fly off the handle. I don't know if you've struggled in the past with your reaction to feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're worried about taking that stress out on others or the people closest to you and how that'll affect them. But rest assured, you do not have to worry about that because you are in control of your actions. You have a good sense of yourself. You know that this is just a tiny blip, that this is how life goes sometimes. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, and it's not gonna render you helpless or in a victim mentality. Your confidence is there for a reason. You might even feel, why am I so confident right now? But know that you're confident because you built that awareness inside of yourself to know that you can handle what life throws at you. Okay, y'all, that is the end of the reading here today. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed reading your cards. It's always a pleasure to have y'all here at Tarot Moods. If you feel so called, I would love to invite you to leave a like on this video if you liked it. You could also comment. Commenting and liking and also subscribing, we can't forget subscribing, helps support me, my channel. It also helps support the community here at Tarot Moods. And it also helps spread this video to more people who could benefit from seeing. I have information about personal readings in the description below. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, everything you need to know is in the description. I also would like to invite you guys to join my Patreon, where I post 2 new videos a month for the community who joins there. So the links to that will be listed down below, as well as all of my social media. I post daily on TikTok and Instagram for more readings if you loved and feel connected with my energy. And this is, of course, only if you feel so called and you have the resources to do so. I have a Venmo linked down below for tips that go strictly towards purchasing decks or equipment for filming, anything that goes directly into this channel and creating content for you guys. That is solely what the Venmo is for. I'm sending you guys a big warm hug and a smooch on your forehead. Bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading all about what the heck is happening for you this June. I'm very excited that you decided to join me here at Tarot Moods for this reading. If you did not watch the intro, I will say you could go back and watch it just to see the reading breakdown. If you did watch it, thank you so much. But that will have information all about what the heck we're doing here, how everything is spread out, and that way you're a little prepared so you know what is happening in this reading. However, if you don't want to go back, I will pop up on the screen just a little breakdown of what we are doing here today so you can see for yourself. Pile 3, what an exciting month for you. When I was taking notes, the very first thing that I wrote down for you is factory reset, which I think is so empowering, and I'm getting like energized right now. Oh my gosh, I love your energy. Mind you, it's 2 a.m. I've been awake like 17 hours? So I should be freaking exhausted right now, but no, your guys' energy this month, holy cow. I am really feeling it for you guys, and I'm so excited to deliver this message. Literally anything, any person, any situation that is holding you back, that is crossing your boundaries, anything that is stepping on your toes, you're done with it this month. You're finally just so done. It's kind of like that energy of the frontal lobe finally develops, it clicks in place, and then you're like, actually, this isn't good for me. Actually, I don't need this anymore. And then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just like on your computer. You're like, trips to Italy, one-way trip to Italy. And then you find a job in Italy and you're like, okay, that's done. You're really leaving the old behind this month and you're finding your true purpose. You're finding where you need to go and you're getting locked in. I feel this locked in energy with you guys. Fire and flame energy or imagery is very significant here. You all could be fire signs, but you don't have to be, of course. But when I think of fire, it's cleansing, it's rejuvenating, as well as destructive. It's purifying, though. You guys are done people pleasing. You guys are done living life for others. You're done living a life that doesn't make sense to you, that is out of alignment. We have anger here, and I want to say you are processing anger that has been repressed because you saw anger as a negative or unnecessary emotion, but all anger is a secondary emotion to indicate that something is not okay. And you're taking back your power in the way that you recognize anger as a powerful tool and catalyst for change. There is guidance here while you may be feeling angry. It's important to not shame yourself for feeling angry, but also to not let it boil over and harm areas of your life that you don't want the fire to touch, the anger to touch. Learning how to control that anger and channel it towards a purpose or towards something positive in your life, listening to what that anger is telling you and making changes accordingly. However, honestly, the major messages for this month is about creativity, taking your life back, exploring different talents, different hobbies. Your spark is returning back to you, as they say on the interwebs. Gosh, your energy just feels so warm and cozy. I just want to bask in it. This month, the sun is shining on you. I do feel like there's a specific relationship coming through, like a partner, and we will go into love later. For those of you who are single or not talking to someone, we will definitely have messages for you. But for those of you in a specific partnership, this could also be a friend or a close family relationship. I feel like that relationship is getting stronger. You're feeling, you know that quote from Trisha Paytas when she's talking about her husband Moses, where she goes, I can't live life without Moses. I don't want to live life without Moses. That's just what I'm hearing right now. You are having immense gratitude for this specific person. I think they're witnessing you bloom, and they're also just, they want to fan the flames of your glory this month. You're feeling so in love, and also so in love with life. Even if there are things that are a little outside of your control that normally bog you down, I think you're just feeling like this won't last forever. I'm making the changes I need in order to step away from this, so I don't have to worry about this anymore. You're pushing a lot of worry to the side because you are reclaiming your power, because you are rearranging your life. And I think passion is coming back to you. Whether it's passion for this person or multiple areas of your life. Passion to return to an old hobby. Passion to be more creative with your expression, how you decorate yourself, what you post online. Art. I feel like art is strongly coming through here. And choosing to see life on the sunny side. I think this month you're stepping through a portal where you really feel light, where you feel like burdens lessen. You're so locked in on the goodness around you and the goodness you're creating that you're just full of joy, you're full of energy. And I think part of that is because you're not people pleasing, because you are setting up the necessary boundaries to fill back into yourself or to fill the cups of the relationships that you hold closest to you. Receiving that reciprocal energy is helping you believe more in yourself, believe more in love, in life, in relationships. I think you're also releasing a bad habit or something that hinders a little bit of your growth, whatever that is. And you're able to see what's possible when you let go of unhealthy things. The main theme this month is seeing how the past shaped you to who you are today and being grateful for that past, no longer allowing the past or other people's past perceptions of you to have control over the day you live today. Also letting go of what can't be changed, accepting that sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes our past is a little rocky, but that doesn't mean it has to dictate how our future goes. There's this energy of like, you want to face your demons. You want to get rid of your excuses. Not saying that you don't have maybe valid excuses for how things are currently in your life, but I think you're saying, yeah, I have valid excuses, but I'm not going to let that keep me in this space forever. I'm going to find a way. This lady is walking through a forest that is on fire. And she's got all these bugs surrounding her. And it's so interesting when I think of it, like when you think of a moth drawn to a flame, all these moths, all these bugs aren't actually going to the literal flames around her. They're going to her. She is the flame that the moth is drawn to. You've been walking through fire. You've walked through fire, and you're being reborn on the other side. And you have tons of support, whether spiritually or physically. If you feel like you don't have a ton of support physically, know that that is coming to you soon. Feeling free of past baggage and releasing the blocks or any shame that has kept you where you are. I do want to say tangled could be significant just because I'm looking at this staircase with the flowers, the gold and the purple. Kind of reminds me of Tangled. However, something that's unexpected is how well you're able to handle something daunting. This staircase, we don't see the end of this staircase. It continues. We don't know how long this staircase is. But you're taking the steps anyway. You're breaking something down into smaller pieces that make it easier for you to continue, that make it easier to reach your goals. You're getting more accomplished than you originally thought you'd be able to. You're handling this smoke well, if we talk about fire imagery. And I think this is also about seeing hard work paying off, what taking action every single day, baby steps, what baby steps can do and how they accumulate into something powerful. I think you're moving faster than you thought you could because you're not making excuses for yourself, or because you're not letting these excuses or these experiences define you and define your success. You're finding like cheat codes almost. I'm hearing the word cheat codes. Because you're not limiting yourself inside a box, you're seeing the way out. There could be a little bit of quantum leaping coming. And funny we're talking about that because, so I have a lighter in front of me to light the candles, etc. This lighter, I swear to God, I don't have a solid color lighter in my possession at all. I have not been given a solid color lighter. And yet, so I left a lighter at my boyfriend's house last night. And I knew I had a gray, like snake skin looking lighter at my house. And so I come home ready to do this reading, and I'm looking for this lighter, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm type B, I'm like, I left it under the couch. It fell under the couch. So I go and I reach for this lighter. I find it. Tell me why this lighter is gray. Why is it a solid color gray? It's not snakeskin. It's a solid color gray. That makes no sense. I do not own a solid color gray lighter. And so the first thing that came to my mind whenever I found this lighter, I was like, did I just like leap into a new timeline? What the heck is this? Is this like a Mandela effect? What is happening? So there could be instances like that happening for you where you're like, whoa, everything is different now. Something is not the same as it used to be. I'm finding a cheat code, which is super exciting for you guys. I'm so excited. Your advice this month. We have Mau. She is Mother Earth here. She is the goddess guiding you this month and watching over you. And her advice to you is to give back to the earth. I think a lot of good things are happening around you, and I think the best way to ground your energy is literally to touch grass. Putting your feet in dirt or mud, using mud masks as self-care. Also gardening, planting, being surrounded by nature, going on nature walks. There's also something like reducing pollution, taking up recycling, composting. Maybe you're choosing to walk or ride your bike more to places than you would drive this month specifically. Really appreciating and seeing the beauty that the earth provides. I also think there could be something for a few of you joining some sort of environmental group, whether this is some form of activism or something that your city does, partaking in some sort of volunteer work that involves nature and environmentalism. I think that would be a good way to ground and to feel connected to community. Maybe this is something with the soul mission. Who knows? You'll know. This is your month. Okay, I think we are going to move on to the tarot portion of your reading. Spirit, what is happening in pile 3's career this month? What is happening in pile 3's career? Just one card, please, Spirit. Okay. We have the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man. What is happening in pile 3's finances this month? Love to see it. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Spirit, hold on. They're like, channel this. Hold on. Give me a second. I guess before I get into this, you're building something of worth. Believe in what you're building because it's going to result in a fruitful outcome. Anyway, that was just a quick channel. Spirit, let me finish. Give me a second. We're going to break the love portion of this reading into 3 parts. I have timestamps under in the description where your pile timestamp is for those in relationships, those who are single, and those in a talking stage. So feel free to fast forward or to zoom down to the description and choose which one works for you when we get to that portion. However, for those in relationships, Spirit, what is happening this month for those in relationships? What is happening this month for those in relationships? We have the 7 of Cups. Okay. What about our single, Spirit? What is happening in the month of June for those who are single? We got 2, so I guess I'll take it. We have the 9 of Swords reversed, and we have the Queen of Swords reversed. And how about those in a talking stage? What is happening for those in a talking stage? Please, Spirit. This one jumped out. We have the King of Pentacles reversed. I just heard, girl, they're trash. So we'll explore that later. For our last two questions, I've been saving that till after we go through this. So let's work through these areas of life first, and then we'll answer our last two questions later. If you are feeling, if you have been feeling stumped, you don't know where to go with your career, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what the right path is or where you're being called, you're seeing things from a new perspective. I think you're kind of adopting this notion of, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's happening, and instead of looking at in a way that's scary, you're saying, it's okay for me to not know. And I think that's what unlocks you to finding your purpose, because there's not this pressure, because it's not this daunting task to figure out, oh, what am I going to do with my life? The path forward opens up and more opportunities present themselves that maybe you didn't see before. And I also think you're taking this pressure off of, like, this societal pressure to do or be something. I'm hearing that's respectful, which, like, that's just society's pressure. I feel like you're an unconventional person, and I think your path requires a bit of unconventionality. Is that a word? And I think it's okay. I think you can't fit a square through a circle cutout. Just like you can't teach a fish to walk on land. It's impossible. And I think part of what you're releasing here are these projections from either society or teachers or people you've faced that have told you, oh, that's not going to result into anything, or, oh, if you don't go to college, or, oh, if you don't choose a respectful path, like being a doctor or a lawyer, like, you're not going to make any money. If you follow your passions, you're not going to make any money. And I feel like you're finally just like, actually, no. Like, if I follow what these people say, I'm miserable. So I might as well be miserable being a broke artist than miserable having tons of money and hating my life and hating the struggle that gets there. Because guess what? The time's going to pass anyway. The struggle is going to struggle no matter what. We all go through struggles. And I think you're like, I'd much rather be doing something fulfilling that aligns with what I'm here to do and what naturally aligns with my talents than something that doesn't. And I think what you're going to be finding is that the path you desire, or the path that seeks you out, that is meant for you, goes a lot more smoothly than if you forced yourself into a path that isn't meant for you. I think you've faced a lot of situations where you've tried to put on the responsible hat, quote unquote, or you've tried to follow what people guide you towards, but it does not work for you. You face setback after setback, or blocks and challenges, and you're like, why is this so hard for me? Is it me? Am I lazy? Am I this? And the truth of the matter is, no. You just weren't meant for those paths. Those paths weren't meant for you. And I think through releasing this responsibility or this shame around not being someone you simply aren't, and instead shifting and now pursuing the things that are for you, that do align with you, you're seeing success and growth much faster, and things are so much easier. Life makes more sense, which is super exciting. And it also leads into the messages about your finances this month. I think you are winning. Well, it's this energy of winning. I do think you're putting in work to make this happen. It's not just like a spontaneous lump sum of money falls into your lap. but you are seeing your finances as a win this month. It goes the page, the knight, the king, the queen. So you are one step away from being the king. I will say the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving card of the deck, which I don't think this money is coming slowly to you. I think it's the process that has led to this money that has been so slow. Maybe you've had to wait a really long time. Maybe you've had to be a broke artist for a really long time. Or maybe you've had to be a really broke doctor for a really long time. Who knows? And now that you're finding a new path to your destined career, that's when the money is coming through. You're not being someone you're not meant to be, and the universe is rewarding you with that. You're seeing the rewards from how using your inherent gifts and talents that you were born with can act as a money magnet. Did that sentence make sense? I'm so sorry. It's 2 something a.m. Mama's trying. I think you also might be celebrating with people close to you this month. Also, I didn't mention this specifically earlier, but the second of the month could be significant. We do have a time period card that is the second of the month. You're feeling on top of the world when it comes to your finances, and you're feeling responsible. You're saying, look at what I did, look at what I built. Look at what all this hard work led to. And look at what I'm continuing. I did that. You're proud of yourself. And you know it's not the end of your journey, but it's a good checkpoint in your journey where you're like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is worth something. Because we can only go so long without seeing results, right? And you're getting your results, and it's coming through your finances. With the 7 of Cups, for those of you in relationships, I don't see this as someone looking for something else or wishing for someone else. I don't see any sort of infidelity happening here. I see this more of desiring to do something more that you enjoy with someone that you're in a relationship with, but outside factors are kind of hindering this. And this could be you're both pouring so much energy into your career, or areas outside of the connection that demand energy from you right now, that you're not able to spend so much quality time together. Or maybe you two are so exhausted that like a little shebang action is kind of put on the back burner. And this isn't a long-term energy. I just do feel this like, we have to go to work. We have kids. We have to do this. And there's a lot of things outside of the connection that is demanding attention. I do want to say there's comfort in knowing that you guys are right where you want to be. You both are pouring into things that are fulfilling. So you're happy to support each other through this period of a little less closeness, or maybe not closeness, that's not the right word, a little less time, I guess, spent together. At least that's how it's being presented to me. Because that's kind of what happens when you start to build a life with someone. Sometimes you do have to sacrifice the creature comforts of a relationship at times to develop a lifestyle, or to work towards a lifestyle that allow for more creature comforts. There's a little bit of give and take. And both of you are willing to put in the work now and put in the effort now to reap the rewards later. For singles, I don't know if this month you're going to be actively trying to date people. There is a bit of a scorned energy here. Maybe someone you thought you would have good prospects with, there's a bit of a disappointment or a falling out. Well, I would say it's a significant disappointment here. I think you're kind of in this space where you're like, I don't want to go through this again. And it could teeter into maybe some self-sabotage. It could be trending towards a little bit more of a negative mindset around dating, or it could amplify some fears that you have around dating. I do think there's an aversion to want to date this month. If you are like, no, I want to push through this, know that your fears are just fears. It's okay to have negative feelings. It's okay to feel scorned. It's okay to be disappointed. Believe me, I've had plenty of those experiences. But the best advice I can give as someone who is now in a happy relationship and hopes to be in this relationship for a really long time, you really do, as cheesy as it frickin' sounds, you really do gotta kiss a lot of frogs to get to the Prince Charming. I swear. And I want to say, like, not every person you meet is the person that you are. How do I say this? There could be a little bit of projecting onto the people you're dating this month if you're single or trying to date, where you're seeing them through a lens of the last person you dated. And it's important that you take control over those fears and those projections and really try hard to see these people that you're dating through a fresh lens, because they truly are not the people or person you dated last. And I think it's important to see where maybe you've been keeping people out, putting walls up, unnecessary walls, making it difficult for people to get to know you, maybe playing a little bit hard to get. Hello, I've been there. Seeing where you might be sabotaging the relationships that you want to build. As far as those who are in a situationship or in a talking stage with someone, I feel like you're finding out information, like specifically about someone's financial habits or someone's just lack of financial habits that really turns you off. I don't know. I feel like you're getting turned off from someone. You're like, this is not who I thought I was interested in, or this person is not who they said they were. And I'm seeing physical evidence that, maybe they're not as responsible as they chalk themselves up to be. Maybe they're not as stable as I thought they were. And I think you are, genuinely, I think you are saying no to someone. I think you're rejecting someone. I think you're cutting your losses and you're like, ugh, you're getting the ick. It kind of feels like you're getting the ick from this person, guys, which may be a relief to you. Maybe you're like, I'm so obsessed with them, it's like hindering my life. And then you're like, oh, I see you clearly now. I don't like this. Goodbye. I don't think your spirit team likes this person anyway. Like, spirit is really, I'm getting the ick right now from this person. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you are going to end the month with this person in your life anymore. Okay, let's move on to our last questions. We are going to be looking at what progress you are making towards a goal. So, Spirit, what progress is pile 3 making towards a goal? What progress is pile 3 making? Okay. Oops. We have the 2 of Wands. And then we have, what will pile 3 not have to worry about this month? What will pile 3 not have to worry about? You lucky ducks got 2. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and we've got the Queen of Cups reversed. For the progress you're making, I see you having one foot in something and another foot in another thing. Like you're firmly planted in both. You're feeling comfortable, confident in one area of life, which then triggers even more confidence in yourself to build something new. I feel you're seeing the longevity of something you've already built, the structure in your life that won't be able to crumble gives you the confidence to say, okay, this is comfortable, this is not going anywhere, now I can start building this new thing. I also think plans are working out. Anything you've really planned out, anything you've really visualized, maybe you've made like mood boards, maybe you've literally sat down and built a business plan brick by brick and you know exactly what the next steps are. We were talking about the stairway, baby steps, yeah. You're seeing things start to take off. You're seeing things manifest while still feeling stable. That's very exciting. It's good to know our plans are working out, isn't it? Isn't it? It's so nice when we plan something and it goes accordingly. As far as what you won't have to worry about this month, if any of you are worried that you're going to lose out financially, that you're going to lose what you've built, that will not be happening. I'm hearing like you're not getting scammed. I don't know if there's like a good opportunity that presents itself, or this could relate to the money that you will be celebrating about. You're not going to lose that. It's not like you're going to jinx yourself. This money is not going anywhere, and you're also not going to lose out on any opportunity that is for you. If you have to take time to respond to someone's offer, that's okay. It's not going anywhere. I think they're very dead set on you, and it's okay to take time to process and really think things through. The other thing, if you're worried about someone or something not taking you seriously, don't fret about that. You are coming off exactly how you want to be perceived, even maybe above how you think others perceive you. More respected than you think. People trust you. They see you as an expert. They see you as someone who they can rely on, and they know that what you provide or what advice you have, whatever service they come to you for, they know that they're getting quality from you. You provide quality. Okay, pile 3. That is all I have for you here today. Oh my gosh, what an exciting month ahead. You have to let me know how the month goes, if any of this makes sense. I would love for you to subscribe here at Tarot Moods for more readings like so in the future. I would also love it if you left me a like on this video. If you liked, you could also leave a comment, because liking and commenting on the video not only helps support me, it helps support this channel, it helps support the community we're growing here. It also helps push these videos out to more people who may need to hear these readings. We gotta share the love, right guys? Other ways you can support me, I have links to all of my social media. My TikTok, my Instagram are down below. I post every single day on Instagram and TikTok. So if you want more tarot content in your life, if you want more readings from me, short form readings of course, I highly encourage you to follow me there. Just to get a little extra juice from me every single day. You can also subscribe to my Patreon. I have links to my Patreon in the description. There I post 2 new videos every month, and I'm trying to build a nice little community there for us. And also, Last thing. This is, of course, only if you feel called, only if you have the resources. I will also have a link to my Venmo down below in the description. That Venmo, any money I get from Venmo goes directly back into these readings. That goes for any equipment I may need to purchase for these readings. Also, decks as well. Resources, anything I need to provide more accurate readings for you or quality readings for you, that is strictly what the Venmo goes towards. However, I think I've covered everything. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. I hope your pillow is always the most adequate temperature for you when you go to sleep. I am going to go to sleep because it is currently 3 a.m. or getting close to it. And let's see what time. It's 2:46 a.m. and I got to be up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. With that being said, I'm sending you a big ol' smooch on your forehead. Take care. Bye, Pile 3.